Greetings, fellow lords and ladies. We're look at Game of Thrones Season 6 now continues on with Battle of the Bastards. So, beginning in Meereen, Daenerys and Tyrion discuss a plan with the slaver fleet. This is a plan to deal with the slaver fleet as the pyramid is bombarded with flaming cannonballs. Dany was to slaughter their army, but Tyrion suggests talking to the masters about terms of surrender, reminding Daenerys about her father's plan to strike King's Landing as a wildfire and the consequences when his brother Jaime Lannister killed the Mad King. Daenerys, Tyrion, Missandei, and Grey were in league with the Masters, rest among heirs of Yunkai, Likio, Benemian of Volantis, and Yazanzo Kagas of Astapor. They tell Dany that they will let her and Tyrion leave the city and they hand over the Unsullied and Missandei to be resold into slavery and allow her dragons to be slaughtered. She tells them that she had agreed to meet with them as she was offering them a chance to surrender as Drogon flies in to meet her. Strange Drogon enter the bay as Rhaegal and Viserion break free from captivity beneath the Great Pyramid of Meereen to join them, and they begin to burn a few ships in the attacking fleet. Meanwhile, Dara arrives at Meereen and with Daenerys' Dothraki horde and root the Sons of the Harpy at the city gates. The Master soldiers abandon them at Grey Worm's invitation, and Tyrion gives an ultimatum that one of the three Masters must die as punishment for their disobedience. Yazan, the lowest of the three, is being scapegoated by the other two for not being highborn. As Yazan kneels on the ground and begs Grey Worm not to kill him, Grey Worm has slits the throats of Ras and Bleachio with one slash of his dagger. Tyrion tells Yazan to share what he had seen in Meereen and what Daenerys is capable of. In the aftermath, Dany and Tyrion meet with Theon and Yara, who have arrived in the city. They offer Dany their fleet of 100-man ships if she will help them deal with Euron and support their claim to the Iron Islands. Tyrion is wary of Theon based on what he saw of him at Winterfell and of his crimes against the Starks, but Theon insists that he has paid for what he has done. Daenerys agrees to support an independent kingdom of the Iron Islands, on condition that the Ironborn will cease all raiding, raving, pillaging, and rape. Yara balks at the suggestion, but Daenerys says that their fathers, Aerys, Tywin, and Balon, all left the world worse than they found it, but their alliance with Dany can leave it better than they found it. Swayed, Yara agrees. Daenerys and Yara seal their pact. Yay. And finally, in the north, Jon, Sansa, Tormund, Davos, Lyanna, and the other Northmen and the other Northern Lords that declared for House Stark have a parley with Ramsay, Harold Stark, and Small Jon Umber before they commence battle. Ramsay offers surrender terms, saying he'll pardon Jon for deserting Night's Watch and the Northerners and Jon's forces for rebelling against him if Jon hands over Sansa. Jon refuses and offers Ramsay a chance to settle their dispute in one-on-one combat. Ramsay rejects a one-on-one combat with Jon, knowing that he doubts he could best Jon in a duel, but he is confident his numerically superior forces will triumph in battle. Jon claims that Ramsay's men may not want to fight for him if he will not fight for them. In response, Ramsay threatens Rickon. Jon and Sansa are wary of whether Ramsay actually has their brother, to which Umber throws out Shaggy Dog's head as proof. Sansa refuses the terms of surrender and tells Ramsay he will die the following day before riding off. After a meeting where Jon discusses the battle plan with Tormund and Davos, Sansa admonishes Jon for attacking too early, insisting they should have gathered more men. Jon returns that this is the largest army they could possibly gather. Sansa, knowing Ramsay the best, warns Jon of his cunning and cruel nature, but Jon assures her that he has faced worse. In the end, he promises to protect Sansa from Ramsay, to which he cynically replies that no one can keep anyone safe. In the camp, Davos and Tormund discuss their time serving both Stannis and Mance respectively, with both acknowledging that they may have been serving the wrong king. After parting ways, Tormund goes to drink and Davos takes a walk. As the sun rises, he comes across a pyre which Shireen Baratheon was sacrificed, and the remains finds a wooden stake he carved and gave to her the last time they were together. He finally realizes how she died. Meanwhile, Jon meets with Melisandre and orders her not to bring him back if he should fall in battle. Melisandre contends that she will try anyway, and that it was not her gift that has brought back Jon but the Lord of Lights, and that only the Lord of Light can decide Jon's fate. Melisandre ponders that the Lord of Light may have brought Jon back only to die in battle. The armies gather the following morning as Ramsay brings out Rickon. After menacingly raising a knife, he cuts Rickon's bonds and tells him that they are to play a game. The only rule is to run towards his brother. As he does so, Ramsay pulls out a bow and knocks an arrow, prompting Jon urgently to ride on horseback to try to save Rookon as Ramsay fires arrows at him. Ramsay appears to have no intention of hitting Rookon with his first shots, but just as Jon approaches his brother, Rookon is struck in the back with an arrow and killed. Devastated and enraged over his brother's murder, Jon charges to Ramsay and the Bolton forces alone. Davos tells the Stark cavalry to charge. The Bolton archers fire at Jon and strike his horse. With Jon now defenseless in the middle of the battlefield, Ramsay orders the Bolton cavalry to charge at him. As Jon brandishes his longclaw and prepares to fight to the death, the Stark cavalry smashes into the Boltons, nearly saving Jon from being trampled. In the rear, Davos blazes his order to his archers to release arrows into the melee of infantry, as he announces they would kill his men, engaged in close quarter fighting, as well the enemy. He eventually sends the archers forward to be of more use in the middle of the battlefield. Ramsay, however, has no such compunction. He has traced the men to lose a little concern for killing his own. He repeatedly and purposely orders arrow fusillades that kill all combatants in the middle of the field, apparently never to create a strategic barrier of human death in the center of the battlefield. The Stark forces seem unaware of the strategy in developing trap. Bolton soldiers are ordered forward to create an impenetrable horseshoe formation of 12 shields and spears in a phalanx configuration that surround three sides of the Stark forces against the dead man to progressively compress them into a helpless and dysfunctional mass. Simultaneously, Soldier Umbra leads a group of soldiers across the mound of corpses to attack the bleaker Stark infantry from behind and complete the deadly envelopment. While one win is able to kill a few Bolton soldiers, it is not enough to break their phalanx. Panic Citizens and Tormund, sense of futility, urges the Wildlings back towards the pile of possible escape. Amidst all this, Jon is trampled by his own forces, nearly suffocating under a group of men crawling on top of him, but is eventually able to get back to his feet. At this point, where the Stark forces face imminent destruction, a horn sounds out in the distance, and Sansa and Littlefinger arrive on the Knights of the Vale, waving banners bearing the Iron Sigil. On horseback, they begin to cut down the Bolton soldiers from behind to disrupt the encirclement. Small Jon, momentarily distracted by the arrival of the Arryn forces, is caught off guard by Tormund, who bites his foe's throat and then kills the stricken Northmen, stabbing multiple times in the face with a dagger. As Ramsay sees the soldiers being cut down, he decides to retreat inside Winterfell, but Jon, Wenwen, and Tormund begin to give chase. His general insists the battle is lost, but Ramsay assures him they still have Winterfell, and the Stark army is too weak for a siege, despite the Vale reinforcements. Wenwen, however, is able to break down Winterfell's gates, allowing wildling archers to pour into the castle. Thus, vestiges of the Bolton garrison are quickly overwhelmed and slaughtered. Despite his valiant effort, Wenwen is so overwhelmed by arrows and finally killed when Ramsay shoots him through an eye. Despite the defeat of his army, he taunts Jon, saying he's reconsidered the option of one-on-one combat. As Jon approaches, Ramsay fires 3 at him with his bow, but Jon blocks all of them with a Mormon shield that he picked up from the ground. Before Ramsay can fire the 4th arrow, Jon gets close enough and smacks the bout of Ramsay's hands before striking him in the chest and knocking him to the ground. Before Ramsay can stand up, Jon pounces him and proceeds to savagely beat him with his fists. While Ramsay uncharacteristically does not attempt to defend himself and fight back, merely grinning maniacally through the beating, convinced Jon won't kill him. The smile soon wiped off his face, however, as Jon continues brutally pounding the coward again and again, only stopping upon finally noticing Sansa, realizing she has as much right for revenge as he does, and subsequently orders Ramsay locked up as a prisoner. The Bolton banners of Winterfell are torn down and the Stark banners are raised in their place. Melisandre looks over the courtyard while Davos glares at her from below, clutching Shireen's burned stag. Jon orders Rickon's body to be buried next to his father there in the crypts as Sansa demands Jon tell her where he's keeping Ramsay prisoner. That night, Sansa goes to Ramsay's kennels to confront her former tormentor, who was lashed to a chair within the common area of the kennels. Ramsay, belligerent and sadistic to the end, goes over telling her how she will never be rid of him because he is part of her now. Sansa returns that Ramsay's deeds and names will disappear from future memory, and then realizes that sounds are slowly approaching him. Jon, having deliberately left the kennel doors open to where Ramsay is bound, still covered in his own blood. At first, Ramsay denies his peril, claiming that his dogs are loyal to him. Sansa clearly reminds him that he'd been starving his dogs for a week. They begin sniffing at him and licking their chops. Ramsay sponsorily orders them to heal, but they refuse to listen. As Ramsay's smug overconfidence finally crumbles into panicking terror, hounds attack and begin to tear him apart as Sansa walks away, smirking with dark satisfaction as the barking of the hounds mingles with Ramsay's screams. So overall, this is a really damn good episode, and it's definitely my favorite of the season. And yeah, it's good to see that Ramsay got what he deserved. So yeah. So overall, I give Battle of the Bastards 5 Iron Thrones out of 5. When we tune in as we took the final episode of the season, The Winds of Winter. So until then, remember everyone, winter is coming.